Hear about Rage getting a sequel? It looks pretty cool, but I wasn't a big fan of Rage 1. It was kinda boring, that ending. Ooh. Also the naming scheme. First we had Rage 1, then Rage 2, then Rage the pre-sequel, the Telltale game Tales from Rage, and now we're back to Rage 2 again. It's too much! Wait, what's Borderlands? Welcome friends, LostScarf here, and it's time for a live vlog because, this is why. You wanna have a good laugh? Let me show you. Alright, so I was playing Dauntless, and then the game kind of crashed. And now we're back at this. Have your laugh. We usually open with a laugh. There's your laugh, son of a bitch. Oh, okay, so here's the vlog, everybody. And first up, new additions. I got Construction Model T, which is so cute. I want Storefront Model T, but I don't think they're selling them yet. And Sleeping Conductor Kirby. It's hella soft, by the way. Oh my god. Ooh, they're hella soft. So, what is there to talk about? I have some people in the chat who can suggest topics as well. The first thing up, of course, is gotta be Today is May 25th. Yesterday, TotalBiscuit died. We already did a vlog like 2 weeks ago about how he was near the end. That was 3 weeks ago. And how it just really broke me up about that. And I cried like a lot yesterday. Because TotalBiscuit is like he might be the first main YouTube thing I watched. I watched him a lot. And it was him and Jesse Cox, as I've said many times before, when they were doing the Co-optional podcast so many years ago, when it was the Game Station podcast, like 5 or 6 years ago when they did it. I'm like, I kind of want to do this too. And we got into it, me and Jinx, and this is where we are now. And they're the reasons. It was him and Jesse. It's why we do the indies. It's why we try to be an authority. It's why we try to know what we're talking about, because of TotalBiscuit. Yeah, it's that. Yeah, we're glad he's not in pain anymore because he had to do that surgery to be in less pain, but he's gone now, and that's just too bad. Like, he died at 33. TotalBiscuit is only a little bit older than me. He should not be dead. TotalBiscuit should not be gone. He should have lived a long life. By the way, that man looked way older than 33. But he always looked like an older gentleman. He should have lived a long life. He should have been here for decades to be a critic of things, to uplift other people, to just have his voice heard. He should have been here a long time, and he's gone at 33. Just get checked, basically, is the lesson from that one. Because, well, he was dealing with the pain of whatever he was dealing with for like a year, and then he finally got checked. Like 9 months, I think it was. He finally got checked, and like, oh, it's cancer. It's like, Jesus Christ. And it's like, too bad they didn't catch it sooner. And that's the thing. The other thing is, there's a bajillion cancers. You don't really know what cancer, or what is cancer, what might not be cancer. You don't know. That's the scary thing about cancer, because cancer is just rampant growth. You can't always catch it all. So many people have died to cancer. So many celebrities, this and that, have died to cancer. My grandfather died of... he died of a different kind of lung... He didn't die from lung cancer from smoking. He died from Agent Orange, because it caused a different kind of cancer. And he died from that. He got killed eventually by Agent Orange. Because the Agent Orange, it caused a different kind of reaction. It caused a different kind of cancer. We always thought smoking was going to be what killed him, but instead it was Agent Orange that did it. It was a trip. But cancer's hit some people like, oh, my aunt got gallbladder cancer, or the other one? The one that killed Patrick Swayze. Got that. and she had to have it removed. It was whichever one. It's the gallbladder or the it's the other one. I think it's or it is the gallbladder. Whichever one that killed Swayze, she had, and she had it removed, so she doesn't have cancer anymore. But she has to live differently because of that. Cancer is a beast. It is what one game called that dragon cancer, and it's unfortunate. And who knows? Like, there's so many different kinds you can have. They can be anywhere, and they can cause different complications. Because usually, what it is it's the symptoms of the cancer that it happens. You go see a doctor, and they're like, "Oh, there's the cancer," or it could just be an illness. Like, catching the cancer itself is not easy to do. That's the reason why you get growths checked, is because it's a cancer that has metastasized, which means it's spreading, and so it's spread to your skin, so you can get it checked. And so they look to see whether or not that is a cancer that's spreading around. When they say it's a benign tumor, that means it's a growth. It's a different kind of cancer, but it's only there, and they're cutting it off, and that's all their cancer was. You're trying to catch cancer. This is from a decade ago of understanding cancer, so I could be off on what they know about cancer now. But the thing is, there's multiple kinds of cancer in people, and they're growing, but it's about whether or not how much they grow, and whether they get that specific mutation where it breaks off and grows everywhere. And that's the one you don't want, is when it grows everywhere, because it needs, like, the way someone puts it is, once it hits like the 9th or 10th mutation, because there's just a bunch of mutations, once it hits a certain number of mutations, that's the point where you're in a bad spot and you need to get that taken care of. And it's not good. Now, we do have someone who their uncle's dealing with it right now with lung cancer. And when my grandfather died, we were all there at the hospital. We're all there. I won't go into details about how that ended, but just, yeah, everyone's there. And that's the thing about cancer, is because you see it coming, kind of. You see death coming, kind of, so everyone can be there. But it's also just the ticking clock of cancer. People can survive. People can get out of it and make it through. It's just not everyone does. That's unfortunate. That's the thing about cancer, is when cancer research is there's a bunch of different cancers. There's not just one cancer. And so it's just understanding the different kinds of cancer, because it's different tissues, different places, how you can deal with it, how you can get rid of that. Just different stuff like that. Interesting story is how they figured out how to deal with brain cancer, sort of. When it comes to brain cancer, you can only have the treatment they do to the brain once. And I can't remember what it's called exactly, but they can only introduce, I think it's some sort of radiology. They only risk it once. They don't do it more than once because it's your brain. And what they realized was, and this is from, actually, I think it was from Sun Tzu, they realized you don't just hit the tumor from one spot, you hit it from multiple spots. And it's some sort of Sun Tzu maneuver, and they used that in treating brain cancer, and they found it was way more effective. I can't remember what it's exactly called right now, but it's straight out of Sun Tzu. They figured out this is a better way to approach brain cancer than just hit it from one spot. And so that's an interesting thing, is just thinking outside the box to do treatments. And cancer's just scary. It's just scary. Of course it's scary. It's something that any of us can develop. And that's something you just have to live with and just get over eventually. Because it's just one of those things that can get you. And it's not even like cancer is the one that could get you. Car accidents or earthquake could happen in California, sinks into the sea. There's just so many ways we could go. And it's just unfortunate when someone goes early. It really is. Like, not making this too dark. You don't want to die early, of course. Unless you're one of those people who want to die early. It's weird. But TotalBiscuit should have been around for a long time. He should have been allowed to influence so many more people and to do so much more good. And he's gone. So, yeah, if something doesn't feel right, get tested, basically, is the biggest lesson from that. And also, if you do get it, to fight it as hard as you can, because he fought it. He was supposed to die more than a year ago, and he lived for a lot longer than that. That's good. They gave him, 3 years? and he lasted 4 plus. He did everything he could. It's just too bad. That's the thing I wonder about when it comes to cancer is like we can't. I don't know if we can develop an antibody or just because we detect cancer. We can detect where the cancer is. Why can't we get it all? I've always wondered that. I never did research in cancer, so I don't really know too much. I only know the basics of cancer. My research was always in more disease and stuff like that, so I don't really understand cancer as well as I should, just to know it better. Because it's just your body killing you, kind of. Because something went wrong in the machinery, is basically what cancer is. The thing is, cancer could potentially also be something useful for us. Yeah, we don't fully understand our bodies even then. And that's because just how we do things. And how we can test and what we can test without risking killing people, obviously. We learned, this is one of the things, is learning from horribleness, is, I don't know if I've mentioned this in the vlog, maybe I have. When World War II happened, the Nazis did not consider the Jews human. And so because of that, they did some of the most horrific studies I cannot share, but I know what they did. And they're horrible and they're not worth uttering, but just the unimaginable horror happened in the hands of Nazi scientists. And we learned so much about the human body because of that. We learned so much about pain. They did so many pain studies. Oh my god. So we learned so much for anesthesiology and so many other things. And how far we can take the body. Because of the pain studies that the Nazis did. Back then, the question was, do we seal these records forever? So we don't utilize any of Nazi science? Or do we use it? That was the question of the science community long ago. And they decided that all these lives were sacrificed. We should give them meaning. That was the decision. And that's why we're so advanced when it comes to a lot of biology, when it comes to humans, because of what the Nazis did. Because we didn't waste it. It's just horrible how we got these results. That's kind of what happens is we learn certain things about the human body because of just these freak things that happen. Like, and then we just get to see how they unfold. Like, what is his name? The guy who took the train spike through the head. We learned so much about the mind from just that one accident happening. Those who don't know, he took a train spike through the head, like through here, and he survived. And the problem was he was a completely different human being. He wasn't who he used to be. He used to be a kind man. Now he was just a very rough and angry human being, and he was not good to anybody. He was just really mean. And they found with that part of the brain missing, it was the inhibitor. They found the part that controls so much of emotion was gone. And so he was just a different person because he didn't have the ability to just limit his emotions like he used to be able to inhibit them. And we learned so much just from that freak accident. And that's what happens because we can't really test too much on living people, obviously. We can only go so far. And that's just one of the limitations. That's just limitations of because we're not willing to use each other as lab subjects for the most part. What you will find, though, is an unfortunate thing about pharmaceuticals is when it comes to the different places. In the US, it takes about 10 years to do human studies. In Europe, it takes about 11 years. And in Asia, it takes about 4 to 3 years. They don't take a lot of time before they do human studies. And the other thing is pharmaceutical companies worldwide will do is they will sell drugs that are not okay in the US and the EU yet in other countries that will not care about that. And then the people who just use the drugs, they'll see that as basically human testing, and they'll see the side effects there, and they'll figure out what they need to do about their drugs before they sell them to the US and the EU. You learn to appreciate where you are in the world if you're in the better off countries, because you're not dealing with some of the BS that happens in the poorer countries, or just the things we do that are luxuries that are not luxuries in other countries, which is a trip. Like, Learning more about North Korea and just that bananas are such a big luxury to them is crazy. Like, I eat a banana almost every day, and it's just like, I get tired of bananas. And for them, it's like kind of just a treasure. Like, it's something really awesome. That's just the trip. Another example we can give that's a different thing, not as much about horror, but vanilla. We'll give this as an example. Vanilla is considered just such a normal flavor these days. But when it was first discovered, vanilla was as precious as gold. No one knew about this amazing flavor before. Vanilla is my favorite flavor ever. And I always get annoyed with people like vanilla's plain. I'm like, no, vanilla is amazing. It is an amazing combination of things to make that flavor. And it was worth gold at one point. That's what it was. But because we loved it so much, we made it so common. That's what happened with vanilla. There's a lot of things just in perspective. And that is partially just life itself, is perspectives of where you are and other things, and whether you're willing to see the other side or just the sides that you just can't see as much. And I guess this is part of the talk now, was just perspective. It is the trip when you see, like, there was because I've talked to these people, not the people, there was a teacher in like one of the more richer neighborhoods, and he had his students do an essay. These are the richer kids. These are the kids with mansions. Had them do an essay on poor people, like the perspective of poor people. And one kid's essay was like, Mary is so poor that she has to eat lower quality food, and so do her servants. They can't imagine the concept of not having servants. They can't imagine that concept. Like, even if you're poor, you still have servants. And that's just the thing about it, is how can the rich understand the poor when fundamentally there are just differences in their ways of life? And so it's a thing of just, it takes them to have to understand that and recognize that, and to try to understand other perspectives. And that's more when you're an adult than when you're a kid or a teenager, really, is trying to understand the perspectives of the other. Because why would you even know that concept? And that's the trip. And that is the thing where we should realize as a people, where we can't exactly rely on the rich to really be kind, because they don't understand what poor is. They don't understand what that is. And you can't necessarily blame them for that. And that is what is horrible. And that is why we kind of I feel, need to spread out the wealth better. And why we do need to tax the rich more, because we're relying on the rich to be more giving, and to donate more, and to spread the wealth more. But they don't do that. And that is because they don't feel the need to, with each generation going on. Like, you have Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett did come from humble to rich, and he has shown examples of his understanding of that. He has famously always said, I was born at the right time, at the right place, with the right skill set. If I was born somewhere else, I would not be able to achieve this. While you have many other rich people who are like, no, I'm amazing. I earned all of this. This is all me. I would have been rich no matter what. You have people who are like that. And it's not true. It really is. You had to be at the right place at the right time. You had to have the right skill set. And this is true, being mentioned from chat. People also just really focus on their own bubbles too. Parents are focused on getting their kids to college instead of saving starving people in third world countries. Yeah, that's the truth of the matter, is everyone has their priorities, everyone has their perspectives, everyone has their bubbles, and that is true. And you'll notice that. And it's hard to notice hypocritical things like that. Like, you will have parents who will do things for their kids that are not usually okay. Or they'll give their kids excuses they would never give anyone else's kids excuses. And the reason for that is the double standard and the perspective of, they know their side of the story, so they will give every excuse for their side of things. If someone else's kid was a total D-bag to the other kids, and just mean and angry at them and just mean to the other kids, you're like, that kid's not really great. You think that kid's crap. But if it's your own kid, you'll give that kid every excuse, because it's your own kid. You know, you understand your kid. Also, you don't want to believe that you raised them poorly, or that, oh, your kid's just not a very good kid. You want to believe that they'll eventually change and stuff like that. That's what you do as a parent. That's the thing with the freaking the father of the Santa Fe shooting. He's like, his son was a victim in his eyes. I was like, no, your son is a damn monster. It just, no, it's wrong. It's so very wrong to go on a shooting spree, obviously. It's not okay. And of course, because it's his son, he's gonna feel like he's gonna come with any excuse he can. But there's a point when just no. Just no at all. You can't you can't do those excuses. Those are things maybe you just wrestle with on your own. You don't say it out loud. 10 people died in that shooting. What was it? 2 teachers and 8 kids, right? Those are families without a brother or husband or whatever they were, because I don't know the shooters, the ones who specifically got killed. Then it's 8 kids. So those are kids. Those are parents without kids to watch grow up and see them get married or see them go on adventures and things like that. It's terrible. But that's the perspective things. People are saying like they do whatever for their family, but you also have to recognize when they do something so wrong, you have to just let that be. You have to not give excuses for that. If, I won't say just it, but just any crimes, you can be there for them, but you can't excuse them. If I ended up my cousin was like a serial killer or something like that, it'd be horrible, because I've known like one of my like specific cousin, like I've known him for years, we've been buddy for him so much. If it turned out he was a serial killer or something like that, I can't forgive that. I'm like, I can be there for him as a cousin because I've known him so well, but like you can't, like that's obviously not okay, obviously. And this is true. Going into the extremes is amazingly scary how blinding your emotions and personal attachments can be. It's also horrifying how detached people can be. Yeah, it is. It really is. Like, okay, now it's going into the Second Amendment. Guns are fun. I like guns. Guns are great, but we have to do something. We really do. How many more excuses can there be? I can't believe the newest excuse it was there were too many exits and entry points. Sandy Hook, they only had one exit and entry. Are we looking for a Goldilocks here? Is that what we're looking for? A Goldilocks, apparently. That's the excuse going to have. A Goldilocks of how many entrances and exits is the right number. The truth of the matter is it's not. And then you got people saying, like, well, we just need more guards. We need more metal detectors. We need more of this and that. No, like, all that does is the shooting doesn't happen during school. It happens after school. That's all that does. That's all that really does. Honestly. Because then it becomes a school shooting outside of the school. Because you have the metal detectors outside of the school, you have the guards outside of the school. But once class comes out, a group of kids are going to be coming out of the front or through the sides or wherever they're going to come out of. They're going to come out of whatever places. And then the shooter's going to shoot. We need to do better. It really is treating the symptoms. Or it's really just coming up with the cold medicine. Guards, metal detectors, all this stuff about exits and entry points. That's all treating the symptom. But it's not stopping the whole thing. It's not stopping the disease. These school shootings are symptoms of something wrong. The problem is, of course, bullying. The problem is psychological. The problem is just easy access to the ability to get these weapons of death. That is the problem. Like, let's see here. What was that? It's Kurt Vonnegut saying, and that is, it's like one of the greatest tragedies is our ability to believe that everyone has the right to just kill each other with guns. Like, it's like this weapon that's the ability to easily make someone no longer exist is accessible to every American. And that's unfortunate. And it's weird because I feel like there's a good number of people who want the Second Amendment to not be touched at all because they think they're going to be the hero at some point. And there's that as well. The 5 minutes of fame. Andy Warhol didn't say that thinking he was going to be quoted forever. He's too busy drawing paint. He's too busy painting cans of soup. Who thinks they're going to be quoted forever? 50 minutes of fame. It's just a quote at the end of the day. Some people aren't going to be famous ever for anything. And that's the thing, is more places, like you saw Anderson Cooper now, he doesn't show the shooter anymore because of copycats. But it's only him. CNN still plastering the face everywhere. Yeah, them said, like Ben Shapiro says they're not going to do it anymore. He still retweets sources that still show the shooter. As a whole, we have to stop sensationalizing all this. Like, a big FU, and just no more, like, I have zero respect for the Rolling Stone magazine after they put the Boston bomber on the cover. When they did that I was done with that. I was done with Rolling Stone completely. I don't care about anything Rolling Stone puts out ever again after that one. They put him on the cover like a damn rock star. Murder should not get fame. They shouldn't even get infamy. They should be not known whatsoever. None of this like Voldemort thing. Just everyone forgets. Not people hush say it, but people just forget. No one should remember the Sandy Hook shooter. No one should remember the one who did the shooting. I don't even know their names because I never bothered, because I shouldn't. The Boston bomber should not be remembered. None of these should be remembered. Santa Fe shooter shouldn't be remembered. None of them. Random thing is goddamn, like Alex Jones. Why is this one real? Like Alex Jones, like, we're going to be on the scene. Well, not on the scene, but we're going to be there and talk about the Santa Fe shooting. Why is this one real and Sandy Hook was fake? I hate how people are profiting off these shootings and politicizing them to horrible ways. The real conversation should be about what can we do? How can we, like, what can we do to prevent more shootings? And the fact guns aren't mentioned in the conversation aren't willingly mentioned in the conversation is the problem. Every possible thing should be looked at and considered. And just better laws in gun control is not killing the Second Amendment. It's not even a slippery slope, but something needs to be done. Just something better. I have family here in California that really hate some of the gun laws in California. They get really mad about the magazine law. Like, you can only have like 10 bullets in your magazines. And they get really mad about that because they'd rather have 30 so they can shoot longer at the shooting range. And we see why that's important. We've seen instances, like the most recent one is the Waffle House shooting, where the dude, he shot all his shots, and then he got stopped because he was reloading. If that clip was 30, this clip magazine, whatever the right word is, if that was 30 instead of 10, my understanding is they were limited as well. The thing is, though, if they did prepare better, they could have just had versions where they had the full 30 instead of the modified ones. Thankfully, they didn't have it modified to have even more bullets. Real quick thing is the ridiculousness of Trump going to Tomi Lahren defense after she got water thrown at her. And he took so long to talk about the guy who stopped the Waffle House shooting. Or prevented further death. The priorities of people are just insane. And this is true. The underdevelopment of brains of kids lead them to be more impulsive. Our society now has accessible tools that can turn these impulsive behaviors into tragedies. Kids, as smart as they may be, lack that understanding of the world and society. Yeah. And let's not forget, guns are the leader when it comes to suicide. Because it's instant. It's just done instantly. And who knows how it is going to get fixed. But we've been talking long enough. That is the vlog. What are we at on Dauntless? Let's see here. Under capture. We are 666. Oh, the number of the beast. Oh, we got it. Okay. We missed 69,000 though. Oh man. But there you go. Alright, there's the vlog, everybody. Sum it all up. It sucks when people die when they should have. TB should have lived a long life. I wish we saw him for decades. I wish we could have seen the impact he could have had. He was the inspiration for us, and everyone he's influenced is his legacy. And hopefully we make great things. We make amazing things. And we remember TB, just what he did and how great he was. And it's just too damn bad. It's so unfortunate losing him so young. It really sucks. That, of course, talked about guns and all that, and perspectives. So, that right there is the vlog. I have fun talking. I hope you have fun watching and listening. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time.